And we know there's a lot of talk about defunding the police. I'm not a fan of defunding the police. Let me just say that. I'm a fan of holding the police accountable. And I am a fan because what people really mean when they say defund the police, they mean fund the issues that cause a lot of communities to be riddled with crime to begin with. So let's fund having access to health care that includes mental health as well. Let's fund quality child care that is accessible to every single person that needs it. Let's fund support systems for families, not just to show up and take their children away and be punitive, but to support a family before their head is underwater and they are overwhelmed with problems. So those are just
if I may ask,
Mhm.
if I may ask, Marcel, so if you're not looking to defund the police, what is your stance on qualified immunity?
We absolutely should repeal qualified immunity. We absolutely should. But to me, that's a low ball. Okay. If you shoot and kill someone I love, I want to be more than able to just sue you. I want to be able to do more than that. That you need to be in prison. So I have a part of my plan, a push to amend the Constitution. The Constitution does speak about the limits of use of force by police officers, where it says that they cannot deprive a person of their right to liberty, freedom, and there's a few other verbiage there which I'm not familiar. It says they cannot knowingly do so. It's hard to prove that they had the intent to do so. We know intent is extremely hard to prove. I am going to push changing the language from knowingly depriving someone of their rights to recklessly, meaning even if you did not mean to do it, as a trained professional, and police officers are trained professional, you should have known better. When you give me a license, there's a charge that is called reckless driving, meaning I didn't intend to hurt anyone or cause an accident, but I should have known better. And when I took the license and I got behind the wheel of that car, I was entrusted with being a responsible driver. Police officers have a great responsibility, and they have a right to use lethal force if necessary. Anyone who has such a right to do something as irreversible as taking someone's life, they should want to be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. That means if you recklessly hurt someone or, God forbid, kill them, you should want to be held accountable for that. So that's what I push. Qualified immunity, repealing that, I'm for that. But we should also take it a step further and prove that if your actions recklessly endanger someone's life or, God forbid, takes their life, you should be held accountable.
So when we look at the state of Black America in dealing with law enforcement, there's been a lot of cases, of course, with excessive use of excessive force. But is there anything you have exclusively for Black Americans that is essentially like a class protection, the same thing they gave the Asians, the 8-time hate bill? Do you have anything like that in your plan?
That's exactly what my plan. Matter of fact, you go to my plan, A Better Deal for Black America, federal class protected status for freedmen is one of the first things I had. I want to repeat what I said earlier. We had it in the 1800s. I want you to just let that marinate for a minute. In the 1800s, coming after the Civil War, where racial tension and violence was at all-time high, freedmen had class protected status. We literally had the military there to make sure that our rights were respected. It is crazy to think in 2022, with all these Black representatives in Congress, that we are actually less protected now, even though the census undercounts us. So I'm not going to entertain that 13% number, even though we're between 15 to 20% of the population. And what? There are over 50 elected people in Congress that are Black. I'm not sure if they're all freedmen, but I know some are. And they were able right away, after 2 weeks of hate crimes, to get a Asian hate bill, because read the language, that's pretty much what it is, passed.
Pretty much.
But for Black Americans, after 500 years, We have nothing. And I know they just passed the anti-lynching bill, but that doesn't specify us. My plan will specify freemen as a protected class status, meaning that we will have rights that are exclusively to us, of which we cannot be deprived. We will have provisions set aside for us like Native Americans have, that we have been excluded from, even though we have been recipients of government sanctioned violence and injustice as well. So absolutely, that is a part of my plan.